Welcome back, friends. In today's Eclipse session, I wanted to show you guys how to use graphs when we are given like a source node and destination node, and we want to find out the shortest path. So if you are someone like new to Java, or you just started like preparing Java and you want some help on the graph, because some people, they just get scared when it comes to graph problems. So I just thought that I'll just create one simple video that will help them to understand how graph works in each internally, as well as how to create graph in Java and how to use Java to find out shortest path from source to destination node. So let's just start actually with this simple example. So this one actually is a graph that is given to us. So it has total 8 vertices, right? So you can see like the vertex means this one, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this is called as vertex, and this one is called as a path, right? 0 to 1 is one path, so it is directed from 0 to 1. Then 1 to 2 is another path, so that is called as edges in the graph, right, in Java. So basically we have been given the edges, so that's how we can initially create the graph, right? So this is given to us that 0 to 1, 0 to 6, 1 to 2. So the edges and the vertices are given to us, and then we will first, what we will do is we will initialize a graph, and then we will create this graph from this given input, and we will create the adjacency list. So what is adjacency list basically? So adjacency list is for any vertex which are your immediate nodes actually, where you can go, right? So for example, if you see this node 0, then you can directly go to node 1, or you can directly go to node 6. So we will just make a entry here that you can go to here the entry is there actually. We have to make 0 to 1 and 6, right? So here I cannot write because this paint is not allowing me to write, but you have to make an entry in the adjacency list here. So similarly, I already made some other entries here. For example, if you are at node 1, the adjacency elements for node 1 will be node 2 and node 3, because that's where you can directly go from node 1. So as you can see here, I have entry from 1, the adjacency list is 2 comma 3, right? Because 2 and 3 you can directly go. From 2 you cannot go anywhere, right? 2 you cannot go anywhere, so we will just say 2 is empty list, there is nothing you can go there from 2. Similarly, if you look at 3, then you can go to 4 and 7, right, from 3. So we will say 3, and the adjacency list for 3 is 4 and 7 basically, right? And then for 4, the adjacency element is 5, right? 4 adjacency is 5. Then for 5, the adjacency list is empty, you cannot go anywhere, right? Because there is no outgoing edges for node 5. One other concept in the graph world is this edge from 4 to 5 is called as incoming edge for node 5, right? Because it is coming towards 5. Similarly, node from 7 to 5 is an incoming edge for node 5, because it is coming towards 5, right? And if we are talking for from the perspective of node 4, there node 4 has a outgoing edge from node 4 to node 5, right? Because it's outgoing, it's going towards 5 basically. So that is incoming and outgoing edges in the world of graph. So after 5, then if you look at 6 node, then you can go to 7. So we will have adjacency list 6 to 7, and from 7 we cannot go, we can go to 5, right? Yeah. So 7 we can go to 5, so this empty is not correct, it should be 5, right? From 7 we can go to 5. Okay, so that is the first thing. We will prepare our adjacency list from the graph. So let me show you that step by step, so it will be easy. So in today's session you will learn easy way to implement graph, then finding all paths from source to destination, right? I will show you how you are finding all the paths, and then we have to find out the distance also. So we will find out path and the distance corresponding from source to destination, right? So let's just walk through this example. So now this is our graph bs, right? So we will just initialize graph with 8 vertices, right? Vertices. So as you can see, there are 8 nodes here. From 0 to 7 means they are 8 basically. So we will just, they have been given the edges, so we will just add edge, right? So add edge, when we are in the graph bs constructor, right? This is the constructor for the graph bs. So we will just mark the number of vertices as v, and we will create adjacency list for that number of vertices here, right? So 8 adjacent, for 8 elements we will have adjacency list basically, right? So in the beginning we will just initialize this adjacency list as an empty linked list, right? As you can see, adjacency list, it's like array basically, right? Adjacency of 0, adjacency of 1, adjacency of 2, like that basically, right? And as you can see, adjacency is an array, right, of a linked list. It's array of linked list. Okay, so after that we will just initialize it to empty linked list, and whenever you are adding a edge, we will add that entry into our adjacency linked list here. For example, if you are adding entry from 0 to 1, right, 0 to 1, then basically what we will do is we will like have a corresponding linked list for 0, right? So we will just make an entry here like this basically. If you have 0 to 2, then it will go to, it will add that entry into the linked list for node 0 basically. So that is what the adjacency linked list look like internally, right? That I will show you. So right, so we will be adding all these edges that are given to us, and once you add these edges, our graph will look like this basically, right? So I will just first, when I'll show you in the debug mode how the adjacency adjacency list look like after we are adding the edges, right? So you will know how it internally it will look like quickly. So the adjacency list will look like this basically, right? As I already showed you here. So one node will have 2 3 like this basically. So this is array, right? Array of 1 will have a linked list 2 3 basically in the linked list. So that's what it will be. So after that we we have already seen add edge, right? It will create our adjacency linked list, and then what we will do is we will start a BFS. So our source node is given as 0 and destination node is given as 5. So as you can see, this is our source node 0 and this is our destination node 5, right? So one path that goes from is like 0 to 6, 6 to 7 and 7 to 5, right? As you can see here, and total distance is how much? This is 1, this is 2 and this is 3. So total distance is 3. So this is what we are going to code it, but I just wanted to show you how the paths will look like here, right? So visually you will understand, and then we will understand more through the code. So other path is 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5, right? So total 4 basically, this one. And then other path that is available is 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 7 and 7 to 5, right? Again the distance will be 4. So the shortest path in all of this is this one, right? 3 with the distance 3. So if in interview you have been asked to find out shortest path, this is one of the way you can find out shortest path, that you will find out the path and you will keep track of what is the shortest distance you have seen, right? So that corresponding path is your shortest path from source node to destination node. So now we will just go and do a BFS from source to destination, right? 0 to 5. So we have implemented a BFS. So BFS uses a queue, right? So in BFS, we will start like first we will start by adding this node into the queue, which is 0, and the distance we have traveled is 0, right? So we have created two nested classes here that we will be using, right? So one class is class is to denote the node, right? So node will have ID. For example, ID is 0 here, right? 0 is the ID, and then it will have a distance. Distance means how much distance we have traveled from source node basically. That's one we will capture in this distance variable. And there is another nested class called as traversal, which has a node. So it means that which node we are on actually right now, right? So that node we will keep track here, and we will capture the list of nodes we have seen so far here, right, in this list. So these are the two nested classes we are going to use while we are going to iterate, like use the DFS, right? And we want to put the nodes into the queue. So we will put traversal objects, right, into the queue. So as you can see here, we have created a queue for BFS and it is holding traversal object, right? So traversal object means it will have what it will have, it will have the node where we are starting, right? So 0 node, we will put starting node is 0, distance we have traveled is 0, and the linked list we will put. So in the beginning there is nothing we have seen so far, right? When we will add 0 when we are visiting 0. Okay, and then it will go and it will iterate through our, this is our basically BFS, right, the while loop. So it will take out, like from the queue, it will pull the traversal element and it will pull the node from traversal element, right? So for example, it will first put 0 into the queue and it will pull 0 from the queue, right? Means it will take out the 0 node from the queue here, right? And it will process all adjacent vertices for 0, means it will process 1 and 6 adjacent vertices, and we will know that from adjacency list, right? Because we already have created adjacency list here. So we will just say adjacency list of 0 and we will get a iterator, right? So the iterator will have elements 1 and 6 here, basically 1 and 6 here. So we will just get iterator next will give us 1 and 6 here as n, and we will always keep checking, if we have reached the destination node 5 or not. If we reach the destination node 5, then we will just put that node, like the last node that we are visiting, which is 5, right? And then we will just print out the, like the list here, the distance as well as the list that we have. List will have the visited nodes, right, that you are seeing here. So this is how the list will print, like 0 then 6 then 7 then 5, like this. So that's how the list prints. If we are not at the source, at the destination node, we will keep track if we have already visited that node, right? We have created a visited array. See, this visited array we have created, and it is also equal to number of vertices, which is 8, right, in our case. So which will, we will keep track of we already visited that node or not, right? Because we don't want to revisit it again. So if it's not visited, first thing we will do is mark it as visited here, and then we will get the list of previously visited nodes here, right? Traversal dot list means we will get previously visited nodes, and then we will add our current node. For example, when we are here, then we will have 0 already visited, then we will add 1 here, right? When we reach here, then we will have 0 and 1 already visited, then we will add 3 here. So that is how it works, and then we will add the current node into the queue here, right? So the node, we all, our queue all consists of traversal objects, right? So we will just convert this one into a traversal object for the current node, and we will increment the distance by 1, right? Because we are in insert, like we have already seen one more distance, basically, right? When, for example, when you go to 0 to 1, distance is 1. When you go from 1 to 3, then you will have distance 1 plus 1, which is 2, right? So that is how you will increment the distance every time you go to next level by 1, right? And we will pass another list, like from this list, right? Because we cannot modify the original list, so we will just create a brand new list here and then pass it to our queue here, right? And then after after the BFS is complete, we will just mark that node as a visited false, right? So it can be used by other paths, right? For example, if you have already seen one path 0 1 3 4 5, then you should be able to again use the node 3, right? When you are coming from 0 1 3 7 5. So that's why we have to mark that as a false here, right? So other paths can again use that node, and at the time, at the last, we have to remove it from the list, the lastly added node, right? Which is called as backtracking. For example, if we added 5, then we will remove it, then 4 we will remove, then 3 we will remove, and again now we will continue from 3 to 7, right? So that is called as backtracking, basically. So we will remove the lastly added node, which is 5, then we will remove 4, then we will go to 3. Now from 3 we will start checking with other elements like 7 and 5 basically, right? So that is the way how the BFS works. So let me just quickly run this code and show you. So as you can see, we are finding now three paths, right? Which is 0 to 6, uh, and 6 to 7, and 7 to 5, right? So distance is 5. So let me just minimize this so I can show you here. So 0 to 6, 6 here, right? 0 to 6, 6 to 7, and 7 to 5. So the distance is 3. That is one path we found, right? And the other one, let me just run this and just go to Java. Yeah, we can go here. Okay, so now we can show like here, right? So so from here you can see that we can now go from 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5, right? So 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. So distance is 4 here. And the other path is 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 7, and 7 to 5. 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 7, and 7 to 5. So we found all the three paths that are possible, right? In the breadth first traversal, and how much distance also it has given us. So this is the shortest possible path that we can find for this given graph. So that is the uh, main thing I wanted to explain you, how to find out all the paths and shortest path, right, from source to destination. So it is pretty easy. I will put this code into my GitHub account. You can check it out from there. But we will just summarize one more time. So we just first created the graph in the constructor, right? We created adjacency list here, and then in the add edge, the adjacency list gets populated here, right? So, because we keep adding the edges here, so adjacency list gets populated. And after that we will just call the BFS, where we will keep track of visited nodes here by using the visited array. And we will start with the first node, which is 0 in this case, right? And the linked list will have 0 added into it. And every level we will keep processing its adjacent element, right? For example, we'll start with 0, then we will go to 1 and 6, then we will from 1 we will go to 2 and 3, then 6 we will go to 7, like that. It will go expand level by level because it is a BFS, right? So it always add these elements into queue. So once we are done with 0, it will add its children or its neighbor, basically 1 and 6, right? When we are processed with 1, then it will add 2 and 3 into the queue basically. And then first it will process 6, and then it will process 2 and 3 basically, because it's a queue, right? So that is how the processing works in breadth first traversal or BFS. So yeah, what else I can show you here. So actually I can just print out here what node is we are how the BFS is going, so I can show you more here, so you will come to know. So this is the node that we are on, right, in the BFS. So we can just say n here, so I can show you how the node looks like internally here. So as you can see, first let me just minimize this so I can show you here, right? Yeah, so as you can see, from 0 you go to first 1, and then you go to 6, right? And then from 1 you go to its children, which is 2 and 3, as you can see here, right? 2 and 3. And after that you go to 7, 4, right? Means here 6 neighbor is 7, then you go to 7, and from 3 you go to its neighbor 4, and then 5, right? 4, and then 7 means you will 7 coming two times, because you are trying to go from here first and here, but you will not process it because we have that visited array, right? So we will just keep that, but it is just printed because of that, right? And then node 5 at the end. So that is how the BFS works internally, correct? So You got it, right? So first you start with 0, then you go to 1, right? 1 and then 6. So as you can see here, 1 and then 6. Then you will go to one neighbors, which is 2 and 3, right? So you are seeing here 2 and 3, and then you will start processing 6 after that, right? And 6 and 7. 6 means once you process 6, then it will add 7 here, right? So it goes level by level. So this is one level, 1 6 is one level, then 237 is one level. That's what you will see, 237 is one level here, right? So it is level by level. That is how the BFS works. So I think I explained you in quite detail about the BFS and how it works. So I'll just add it to my repository. You can take it from there, and you can create your own graphs and see how it prints the paths and how you can find out the minimum path, right? I hope this video will be helpful for you to have better understanding of graphs and how you can perform BFS to find different paths and minimum shortest path from source to destination. So please check out my other playlist also on my channel that has a lead code solution videos as well as Java J2E interview related solutions videos. If you are preparing for coding interviews or Java J2E interviews, please check it out. And leave me the comment, if this video is helpful to you, or if you have any question, please leave the comment below. Uh, uh, Also, if you like this video, please hit subscribe and like button, because if you subscribe, this video can reach to more people and they can also benefited if if they want some real information about graph and their traversals. So please subscribe, and thanks for watching the video.